The holographic projection flickered to life in the United Nations Security Council chamber, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of world leaders. The alien form that materialized was imposing, 8 feet tall, with chitinous plates, covering its insectoid body and 4 arms that ended in razor-sharp talons. Its compound eyes surveyed the assembled humans with what could only be described as contempt. "I am Overlord Zekthar of the Hegemony Coalition," the creature announced, its voice a mechanical rasp through the translation device. "Your species has been evaluated and found adequate for our purposes. You will provide us with 1 billion of your kind to serve as laborers in our mining colonies. This is not a negotiation." The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted in multiple languages. Security personnel reached for weapons that would be useless against a hologram, and several representatives fainted outright. But Secretary General Maria Santos remained calm, her weathered hands folded on the table before her. "And if we refuse?" she asked quietly. Zekthar's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "Then we will take what we need by force. Your primitive weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Your scattered nations cannot coordinate against our fleets. You have 72 of your hours to comply." The projection vanished, leaving behind only the acrid smell of ozone and a room full of terrified humans. 3 days later, the hegemony ship Void Render hung in Earth's orbit like a metallic moon, its hull bristling with weapons that could crack continents. Aboard the vessel, Overlord Zekthar waited in his throne room, surrounded by his lieutenant commanders from a dozen conquered species. Each bore the same hollow look in their eyes, the resignation of the defeated. "The humans are late," hissed Commander Sixtal, her serpentine form coiled around a support pillar. "Perhaps we should begin the bombardment." "Patience," Zekthar replied. "Let them savor their last moments of defiance. It makes the breaking all the sweeter." A communication alert chimed through the chamber. "Overlord," came the voice of a bridge officer. "We're receiving a transmission from the human planet. A single ship approaches, small, unarmed." "1 ship?" Zekthar's compound eyes glittered. "They send us 1 ship in place of 1 billion slaves?" "The vessel requests permission to board. They claim to carry Earth's Emissary." The word translated poorly into hegemony tongue, but Zekthar understood its meaning. A representative. How quaint. "Let them come. I will enjoy crushing their final diplomatic gesture personally." The human who walked into the throne room 20 minutes later was not what any of the assembled aliens expected. She was small, barely 5 feet tall, with gray hair pulled back in a simple bun and wearing nothing more elaborate than a dark, blue suit. She carried a single briefcase and walked with a slight limp, as if her left leg pained her. Most surprising of all, she showed no fear. "I am Dr. Elena Vasquez," she announced, her voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber. "I represent Earth in this matter." Zekthar leaned forward on his throne, amused. "And you bring us our 1 billion slaves? I bring you something better." Dr. Vasquez set down her briefcase and opened it, revealing what appeared to be a small, crystalline device. "I bring you a choice." The alien overlord's laughter was like grinding metal. "Humans and their arrogance. You are in no position to offer choices." "Aren't we?" Dr. Vasquez activated the device, and suddenly the air in the chamber shimmered. With holographic displays, star charts, technical schematics, and most shocking of all, detailed intelligence reports on every species in the Hegemony Coalition. "You see, Overlord, while you were busy conquering worlds through brute force, humanity was doing what we do best, learning, adapting, and planning. Did you really think we'd remained ignorant of galactic politics for all these centuries? We've been watching, we've been listening, and we've been preparing." Commander Sixtal hissed in alarm. "Impossible. Their technology is primitive." "Is it?" Dr. Vasquez smiled, and for the first time, Zekthar felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. "We may not have faster than light travel yet, but we have something you've forgotten exists. Hope. And hope, as it turns out, is contagious." The holographic displays shifted, now showing scenes from across the galaxy. On a dozen different worlds, in slave camps and mining colonies, something unprecedented was happening. The conquered species were rising up, not in the hopeless fury of desperation, but with coordinated precision. They carried human-designed weapons, used human-taught tactics, and fought with a determination that had been beaten out of them generations ago. "You wanted Earth's slaves," Dr. Vasquez continued, her voice never losing its gentle tone. "Instead, you're going to get Earth's teachers. For the past 50 years, we've been making contact with your subjects. We've shared something you never could, the belief that freedom is worth fighting for no matter the odds." The chamber erupted in alarms. Reports flooded in from across the hegemony, rebellions on 17 worlds, fleet defections, supply lines severed. In less than an hour, an empire that had stood for millennia was crumbling from within. Zekthar rose from his throne, his 4 arms reaching for weapons. "You think your little uprising changes anything? I can still turn your world to ash." "You could," Dr. Vasquez agreed, "but then you'd have nothing left to rule. Your empire is built on slave labor, Overlord. Without it, you're just another species with oversized ships and undersized imagination." She closed her briefcase with a soft click. "So here's that choice I mentioned. You can try to hold your empire together through force, watching it crumble world by world as our ideas spread. Or—" She paused, meeting his compound gaze without flinching. "You can learn what we learned long ago, that beings work harder, think clearer, and build better when they do so freely." "And why?" Zekthar snarled. "Should I trust the word of a human?" Dr. Vasquez's smile widened. "Because, Overlord, I'm not just Earth's emissary. I'm also a former slave." The revelation hit the chamber like a physical blow. This small, unassuming woman had stood in chains, had known the weight of oppression, and had still chosen to extend a hand rather than a weapon. "I was 12 when my country fell to civil war, 15 years in labor camps before the revolution freed us. I know what it means to lose hope, and I know what it means to find it again." Her voice carried the weight of lived experience. "Your empire can continue as it always has, or it can become something unprecedented in galactic history, a true coalition of free beings, choosing to work together." Zekthar stared at her for a long moment. Around the chamber, his commanders waited for orders that didn't come. Outside, his empire continued to unravel as world after world remembered what freedom felt like. Finally, slowly, the great overlord of the hegemony coalition did something that none of his subjects had ever seen him do. He knelt. "Teach us," he said quietly. "Teach us how to be free." Dr. Elena Vasquez, former slave, current emissary, and future architect of galactic peace, opened her briefcase once more. Inside, alongside the crystalline device, were hundreds of data chips containing humanity's greatest export, not slaves, not soldiers, but stories of hope, democracy, and the Yao, unbreakable human spirit. The galaxy would never be the same, and in the end, that was exactly what humanity had planned all along.